Omari, Total Media.
Michael Elliott.
The Mike Elliott Show.
Michael Elliott Show.
The Michael Elliott Show. The Michael Elliott Show.
Listen to Michael Elliott.
It's the Michael Elliott Show.
Thank you for tuning in to the Michael Elliott
Help
Show.
us grow this show. Like, subscribe, and comment.
Welcome to the Michael Elliott Show. We're here again with another episode. I got my man, Tony Weeks, in the building. Y'all all know him as the third man in the ring. And we're going to talk about boxing and some of the things that he do, what he's good at, what he's great at, and how he's saved some people's lives. So we're going to introduce my man, Tony Weeks.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure being here, and expressing yourself to the world, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they see the outside, but they don't know the inside.
Oh, absolutely.
It's always good to hear from the horse's mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how long you been a referee boxing? How long you been doing that?
Well, since 95, started in Phoenix, Arizona, smaller venue. And, of course, Phoenix is right next door to Las Vegas. And I had dreams and aspirations of, coming to Las Vegas.
All right.
And it happened, and, everything is history from there.
So how you got a lot of championship fights you've done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to come like 95, where you come from, you have to be doing something good in order for them to want you to be the man in the ring with these two vicious fighters.
Absolutely. It's a fight. Yeah.
One of the things that when I see you, there's a lot of blood all on your clothes and all that type of stuff. Go ahead and talk to the people about, I mean, what is that? I mean, talk to me. Tell me something.
Well, that's boxing.
That's boxing.
That's boxing. That fight was with Badu Jack and Maurice Brown. Actually, was the co-main event to the Pacquiao-Broner fight. And it was an accidental headbutt, and Badu Jack had a pretty bad cut on his forehead. And you get any type of cut on your forehead, you're going to bleed profusely,
Yeah.
And it was a real bad cut. The only good thing about it that it was right down the middle, and it wasn't going in his eye. It was blood was kind of flowing down the sides of his eye, so it wasn't getting in his eye.
Right.
And I took him over to the doctor twice, and the doctor okayed. Actually, I thought the second time that doctor would probably stopped it, and he didn't. And I asked about, do you want to continue? He says yes. He's a warrior. He's going to go. You know. And, the fight continued, and, lo and behold, you have this iconic photo of me in the corner, and it was funny, too, because, I'm in the corner during the fight, and, I'm looking at the fighters, if there's something happening or whatever the situation is, and I noticed that, photographers was looking at me, snapping pictures of them. And that was the first time I noticed all the blood on me.
So you didn't know? I'm sitting there watching the fight. I'm like, how could he do this? You know what I mean? Because we watch the cards. You know what I'm saying? In every fight, we fight fans. Vegas. It's like we love that energy, and we be hoping to see our dudes win all the time. But your job is it's a pretty hard job.
It's a tough job.
It's a tough job.
That not everybody
I hope
can
they
do.
pay you well, man, because
you
got a tough job.
We could use a little more. What I mean?
Absolutely. Y'all pay this man. Y'all get this man some money. He's done saved a lot of lives, and believe that.
Well, and that's the ultimate, that we have these two guys. I mean, we enforce the rules and regulations, but that's all secondary. The number one thing is safety of the fighter.
Yeah.
And we literally have these two guys fight the lives in our hands. And a lot of decisions that we make, it could be split second, because in boxing, all it takes is one punch.
That's it.
That's all it takes. And, a lot of times you don't know the history of certain fighters, have they been taking a lot of punishment in their fights? They have a lot of gym wars in there, So, you don't know, if you don't really know the fighters, you don't know what kind of condition that they're in.
Who's the worst fighter to referee?
No, nobody really worse.
I mean, somebody that
you know.
you had to take points away and
Well,
you have to constantly talk to.
Well, my brother Bernard Hopkins.
Oh yeah, Bernard got tricked.
Bernard's old school guy.
Yeah.
A lot of people think he's a dirty fighter. He's not really a dirty fighter. There's a method to his madness, when he does certain things in there. But the very first time I refereed Bernard, it was a rematch with him and Antoine Eccles.
Okay.
And actually, that was my first big fight in Vegas.
Okay.
And I never forget, it was on a Friday night, and everybody was in town because the following night you had the big fight with Fernando Vargas and Tito Trinidad. So everybody's in town, and the place is packed. And man, I had no idea that this was a grudge match, that they genuinely didn't like each other, and I had no idea what Bernard was all about. Just stepped in there, and then everything, all hell went loose, and it was on HBO, and I'm just thinking to myself, oh my God, Larry Merchant, they got a field day on this one. My career is through. You know what I mean? It's like, but it really, really showed me what I can do in a tough situation.
Yeah.
Anybody can really referee a fight if there's nothing happening.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But when all the grabbing, the pushing, the locking, all
things
of that
you got to
stuff.
look for,
Yeah.
things you got to understand, and try to be fair. With both fighters, it's really tough in there. But I came to Vegas already as a professional, but that night I became a pro. Because he and I and Bernard and I, we have a little running joke, with us. Every time I see him, I tell him, fight like a champion.
Right.
Because after all that he was doing, I finally took a point away, and I went over to the corner and I told him, hey, Bernard, fight like a champion. And he told me, hey, he couldn't dispute that. It's like, you're right.
Right.
But no, any challenges is going to take you to the next level. You're going to find out who you are. It's like fighters. There's a truth serum in that ring. You're going to know who you are and what you are, what you're all about. When you're under the microscope here in Vegas, the world is seeing you.
Everybody.
And you could feel the pressure that's in that ring. But as a professional, you maintain your concentration. And because the only thing I'm focused on what's happening in that ring, nowhere else.
So we're gonna clear the air for everybody that's out there, but we're gonna come back after this message.
Visit umtmshopping.com for great quality and excellent prices on women's clothes, men's clothes, baby clothes, and children's toys, electronics, and much more. Visit us now at umtmshopping.com.
We're back with another episode. Back with my man Tony Weeks. Did y'all enjoy those commercials? I hope y'all did. Make sure you click subscribe, hit like, and share. Also, don't be greedy. Make sure you share this. Back with my man Tony. So, that was a fight that you refereed, and it was a Floyd Mayweather fight. And there was a lot of complaining going on. He didn't badmouth you, but he was complaining about some things. Which fight was that?
That was the first fight with Madonna.
With Madonna.
Yeah.
So what was that like? You know what I mean? How did all that come about, and how did that take place by you being in the ring and you being right there on firsthand on action?
Well, first of all, you have to understand styles. Okay, Mayweather's a boxer, a mover. Madonna, unorthodox. He's coming at you at all angles. When that fight started, I was, it kind of puzzled me a little bit that Floyd was on the ropes and allowing Madonna to just wail away because it was evidence when Floyd got him in the middle of the ring, he could just simply outbox him. But there was some things in there that both fighters were doing. Madonna was a little more, how can I say, more evident in what he was doing and stuff. And there's a lot of things like I could be on one side and not see certain things that's happening on the other side. And it was just a tough fight. I've done Mayweather a couple of his fights before, so I knew he was capable of doing when I'm in the ring with him and stuff. But it's just, I was just a little bit taken back that he was just just up on against the ropes and letting Mayweather just well away.
So some of the things that the audience and the people, they try and throw darts at you by saying that you be stopping the fights too soon and things like that. What are you seeing that, that they not seeing? You can explain to them so they'll know that, you actually probably just, from what you've done, nobody's really been seriously injured. Ain't nobody been slid to the hospital and almost about to die, right? That hasn't happened,
There was a fatality, but not in, it was, they passed away dead days later.
Okay.
A week
and you
later,
ref the fight?
Yes, it was a couple of weeks later.
So that's got to be on your mind.
Listen, like I say, it's a tremendous burden on a referee, to have someone's life in your hand. We have their livelihood in a way, but we have their lives in our hand. As referees, we are trained to see certain things in the ring. How a fighter responds. How what kind of condition the fighter is. How they're going to react when they take their first hard shot. What the general public doesn't understand is, like I say, we're trained for that. The general public bear no responsibility what happens to that fighter.
They don't care.
Right. So they have a different mentality. Let them go, let them fight.
I couldn't wait to get you on it just so we could clear this up because people, they don't understand that it's not about so much who win and lose all the time.
No.
Because we want both fighters to win by going home.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And being able to live in. And if you're the in charge man, and we have to trust your decision, your judgment, and everything you're doing, and that's why you're the guy in the ring. I used to, I was really good friends with Joe Cortez.
Okay.
Back in like 93, 94, he used to come down to Golden Gloves gym, and I was down there just training, and he would be in there. And, he would always talk about how tough it was to be in the ring. And he said that's why he stayed in shape because he never knew when he had to whoop somebody. You know what I mean? And he had that attitude, like, even when he was in the ring, he was like, come on, guys, taking charge.
Yeah.
And that's what you do is take charge.
Absolutely. We're in charge of that ring. The corner people, they can stop the fight at any time.
Right.
They know they're fighters, whatever. And that has happened before, But ultimately, we're in charge. We can take them over to the doctor, and we go under the advice of the doctor, So it's really up to us, whether to stop a fight or not. And like I said before, we are trained to see certain things. When you're an outside observer, you may you have like I say, you have a different mentality. Oh, that's your guy, that's your fighter. Oh, I got money on him. Oh, whatever the situation is, we're not thinking about that at all. Okay, we're human like anyone else.
You can make a mistake.
We're prone to make mistakes. But I always say this, they don't people, and this goes out to any official in any sport. They don't really look at us as being human. What I mean by that is we have to get it right every single time out.
That's strong.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah,
that's strong.
Yeah.
I referee a little kid basketball, high school and stuff like that in my past and stuff like that. And like you say, you can't see it all. It's impossible. Too much moving and everything's going on. And then even when you do see it after it already happened, is it okay to call it now? It's so, because it wasn't nothing that affected it, but it was a foul or something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. And people have the luxury of seeing it in slow motion, 5 different angles. And they're like, oh, wow, how did he miss that? Blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop, But no, that comes with what I do.
Can you say who's been the greatest sportsmanship fighter you've ever reffed?
Oh, wow. No one's really had any really unsportsmanlike conduct in the ring. They've all, I think what it is that when you build a reputation as a referee, people respect you.
Yeah.
Okay. And that goes a long way, as opposed to, for example, going back to what I was saying with Bernard Hopkins and Antoine Eccles. That's the first time Bernard, I was new in Vegas. That was the first time Bernard, saw me as a referee. Excuse me. And I remember going into the locker room and giving instructions, and Bernard, he's sitting down on the couch, and when I come in, he stands up, and I know he was that tall, and, and I worked 25 years in the maximum security penitentiary, and I know when somebody's staring me down. Right. I say he's trying to figure me out, staring me down, whatever it is,
size you up.
Yeah, well, can I get away with something?
Yeah.
Because he's gonna try you.
And,
But like I say, no, it's all part of the game, and through experience, you gain the wisdom in knowing how to conduct yourself in certain situations and stuff. And because a lot of calls that I make, some of the calls I make is just instinctive. You see something and then you just react to it. You know,
that's human.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there a fight that happened that you didn't referee, but you was like, I wish I had that fight?
I mean, I have to go all the way back to the Madison Square Garden, March 8th, 1971, in New York City, first Ali Frazier fight.
Oh, man. You wish you had that fight.
Oh, what an event. I mean, to this day.
Let's talk about it right now.
You've never, I was in great.
Who was reffing that fight?
Arthur Mercanti Sr.
Yeah, Arthur Mercanti.
And actually that was the first time that I noticed a referee. In terms of wow, what a position to be in. Be in that ring. I never grew up having any dreams and aspirations of becoming a referee. But I love boxing. I was blessed to come up during the Ali era.
So did you ever go in the gym and spar and train? And
I was in the martial arts.
Okay.
Yeah. I was more in the martial arts.
Because to be in a ring, you got to know how to fight.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
You got to know how to
definitely.
fight. Yeah.
You definitely. And if you notice my style in the ring, my footwork.
Yeah.
That comes from the martial arts and stuff,
right.
And knowing how to move in different directions and so forth and so on.
Kenny Bayless is funny when he referees because he's right in there. He look like he's about to fight. You know what I mean? He got his hands set up and all of that.
Oh yeah, well, everybody has their own style.
Yeah, everybody got their own style.
That's all it is, But we all have the same assignment in terms of enforcing the rules and like I say, ultimately, protecting the fighters.
So who's a really good fighter right now today? Who's like in middle class? They got like about 5 guys in that from light to welterweight with Shakur, Gervonta Davis.
Yeah, they got them all.
Devin Haney and even we could throw the boy AB in there too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can never count anyone out.
You can never count anyone out.
Number one. No, there's a lot of
who's coming up right now that's the strong fighter.
Really as a referee, I can't really point on that who's coming out. I don't want to
be biased towards
but there's a lot of great fighters out there now. There's a lot of great fighters coming up. The only thing is that we need to make these fights happen. There's one thing I judge the UFC fights. I don't referee. I judge those fights.
Okay.
And the UFC, they're real popular because they make the fights that the fans want to see and stuff. And, having grown up, like I was saying before, during the Ali era, late 60s or 70s and 80s, you had some great champions. And everybody fought each other, and these guys went 15 rounds.
I remember that. I remember 15 rounds. Sugar Ray Leonard, the one changed that. Well, I mean, his fight when he did the 12 rounds with Hearns, I believe.
Well, no. He went 12 rounds with. He went 15 rounds with Hearns both times, but he went 12 rounds with Hagler.
So the third fight that was Sugar Ray. Did they have 3 fights?
No, they had 2.
Sugar Ray and Hearns too.
Yeah.
I know he had the red and white trunks on.
Right, that was the second fight.
So the Hagler fight was the 12 rounds.
Right, that went to the 12 round.
And that was kind of when they started doing that.
I think it was before that. I don't know the exact history of that.
In that area, yeah.
But
that was my favorite fight of Sugar Ray.
Okay.
Yeah, for me. What I mean? Growing up, that was my era.
Yeah.
Ali had already, done his thing. You know what I mean?
And
but Sugar was fighting, and I had heard about Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yeah.
How good he was.
Yes.
And seen a couple
Yeah.
of clips and things like that. So
Yeah.
I've been a fighting fan, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You know Yahya McClain, right?
Oh yeah, yes, absolutely.
You ever do any of his fights?
No, I did it in the movie. Yeah, when
In the movie. Yeah, he was in the movie with Creed.
Yeah, well, we was in Creed 3, but I actually refereed a fight scene that he did in the last Rocky movie.
Okay.
You know, there was a little fight scene on,
Yeah,
in the opening scene of the movie. But
So
yeah.
so did you go out for the part, or did they just call you and say?
They called me. Yeah.
That was a good
You
thing.
know, a lot of times what they're doing now, they want to really legitimize these fight scenes. Make them more authentic. So they're hiring people who actually do boxing. Whether it's a referee, a judge, announcer, or somebody that people can identify with. And a lot of these fight scenes are really, the guys' techniques are really, really great now. I was really impressed when I did Creed 3.
Man, that was a good movie.
Yeah,
The plot, the plan, everything
Yeah.
about it was good.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, me and Yahya were really good. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's my partner. We
Oh, yeah.
went to school together and
Okay,
everything.
okay, yeah.
Just talk to him,
Yeah.
at least once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's living in Atlanta
He's
now.
in
so-
Atlanta now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
With his crazy self. Yeah. So outside of boxing, who's Tony Weeks?
Wow. I'm just a regular, simple guy. Like I say, I love sports. I love working out. I grew up, in Brooklyn, New York,
Okay.
inner city, and I got into athletics early. Played part 1 of football, ran track, and did martial arts.
So when you played Pop One, was you good?
Oh yeah.
What position you played?
Yeah, I played running back.
How many touchdowns you scored a game?
I can't remember, but I scored a lot. I scored a lot. Actually,
So was you a power or a speed?
speed.
Okay.
No, I was fast. Because I was
you
small.
get around the outside and just take it right to him.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, I was small. You know what I mean? And actually, I played 2 years of part 1. In my second year, I won the most outstanding back.
Okay.
Of the league.
So
yeah.
so in the martial arts, when that took place, you ever compete?
Yeah, I competed in the points tournament.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't have the full contact,
Just off the points, yeah.
back then and stuff. But growing up in the city, it was more for
We
protection.
learned martial arts in the streets.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And during that time, martial arts was still evolving. A lot of people
Oh,
didn't.
Bruce Lee,
Yeah.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you know what I'm saying? Jim Kelly,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A Bolo, you know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So, excuse me. No, I just, like I say, I've been in athletics all my life and stuff, and I just enjoy, I enjoy people. I enjoy being around people. And I also, I'm actually with my second career I'm working on is performing, singing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, it's a recording studio right next door, man. You ready right now? We got the producer, you know what I'm saying?
you
We
know
got
what
it
I
going
mean?
down.
Hey,
y'all look out. Tony Weeks' new album first. Hey, you heard it here first. It's called Don't Be a Player. No.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, man, it's gonna be good.
No.
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It was funny because we were at a convention. It was, I believe, it was a WBA convention in Indonesia, and they had a live band playing. And they was like, okay, listen, we're gonna go on a little 15-minute break, but before we do it, anybody want to come up and do a little number? I'm looking around. Heart going about 400 miles an hour.
That'll be me.
Yeah, I do. And I got up there and I started singing. And everybody just was amazed. Like,
Is that right?
Yeah,
Well, listen, when we finish here, let's go to C3.
Okay.
It's right around the corner.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, man, that's going to be cool. And, they do karaoke over there, too.
Okay.
And all of that kind of stuff. And it's a cool place.
Yeah, most definitely.
So-
actually, I'm going to cut you off, but we just had last year we had a convention in Chicago, and we were invited out to Buddy Guy's place.
Okay.
And the blues singer Buddy Guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And someone told him that, Tony Weeks, he's a singer. He said, what? Oh, we'll put you on stage. Okay. He not only put me on stage, he made me a headliner. So in November, I performed at Buddy Guy's Legends right there in Chicago.
You're gonna be the first referee to sing the national anthem and ref the fight at the
I've
same
heard it so many
night. You're gonna be the first one to do it. It's gonna happen because we don't speak it into existence. You know?
Oh yeah, but the thing about it is that through boxing, I'm known around the world, and that kind of puts a little foot in the door.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of some Joe Blow coming off the street, hey, I'm a singer, blah blah blah. No, people know who you are, and
But if you couldn't sing, you'd be all bad.
Oh, forget about it.
So in New York, your parents, both your parents, you live with both parents or just one?
Oh no, I had both. My mother remarried.
Okay.
And I have both parents. They're both deceased now.
Okay.
And stuff.
Rest in peace.
But yes, thank you. We grew up there, and like I say, right there in Brooklyn. And let me tell you, man, I've been all over the world, all over the country. There's no place I'd rather grow up in but Brooklyn.
Wow. I thought you was gonna say Vegas.
No, man.
See,
no,
Vegas is that spot. No.
Yeah.
No. Brooklyn is like the California of the West Coast. You know what I mean? And California and Vegas is so close. It's kind of a lot alike. But the difference is Vegas is a lot faster than California. California is more ran down and thuggish, and it's hard grind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Out here, it's not that. Yeah.
But,
so when you driving through town and stuff, and you going into the grocery stores, people want to take pictures with you and all of that kind of stuff.
People, they either look at me, where I seen you before, or come up to, hey, Tony Weeks, referee and stuff. And to me, is not so much they see me on TV, but they appreciate the work you do.
Yeah, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
No doubt. And that's why, even before I seen you and asked you to come. We talked at the barbershop at Glenn's barbershop.
Okay.
You remember?
We
were talking about Floyd was getting ready to fight somebody. And we was just kind of, conversing about it and stuff like that. Okay. And you was there.
Yeah. Well, Glenn, he does my trademark. This is my
man. Glenn is a hell of a barber.
Glenn is Uppercuts Barbershop.
I actually was going to go to Glenn today to see if he could trim me up because my barber's out of town.
Okay.
So I was actually going to go but I know Glenn only take appointments. I know I could go in there and say, Glenn, come on, man. I just if he had time, but. My time ran short, so I wasn't able to get to him.
That's it.
Yeah, but Glenn's a good dude. Man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been coming to him since I moved to Las Vegas.
Right on.
Oh yeah.
Glenn got the finest clientele. Yeah.
You know it. Oh yeah.
So what's next for you? I mean, outside of the music and refereeing, what's anything else?
No, I mean that's primarily it. Right now, I'm retired. Like I said, I worked 25 years in maximum security penitentiary, and I retired from that in 2013, and just doing the fights and doing the singing.
Working in a prison, seeing somebody every day, and you're gonna see these people every day.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what is that like?
It's it's like anything else. You come in and you have to earn your respect. You don't demand respect. You earn your respect. And through the years let me rewind. I came in at the introductory level, which is CO, security officer and correction officer, and I looked at certain departments that they had, and they had recreation. And I said, when the opening came up in recreation, I said, that's where I want to be. And I did my entire career in recreation. Why? Because recreation, you're going to deal with the entire population, and they come to the rec yard with a little different attitude, a little leisure. But then again, things can happen on the rec yard.
A lot of stuff. So I mean, I know there's riots, there's shankings, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
For you to survive and be able to come home every night.
Yeah. I through recreation, you had your regular programs, basketball, baseball, so forth and so on. But I always thought outside the box. And this is how I started refereeing. I put on a boxing exhibition in the prison. And this has never been done before in the federal system. You know, they have in the state, but in the
You
federal.
remember the movie Penitentiary?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
You know, and what had happened was we had an inmate there who was a fighter, and I knew one of the trainers from the outside who was interested in training when he got out, and I arranged it for him to come up and you know talk to the visit with the
Networking
inmate
this
there.
motherfucker, boy,
You know
I
what I
tell you.
mean?
Yeah.
And I took it a step further. You know what? Let's bring some fighters up, set the ring up there in the yard, and let's have a little exhibition. You know, and I can arrange it that the guy can box, the inmate can box. And what I did was I made him like the main event.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we had about 4 or 5 fights, and he was the main event. And I was doing the announcing. I was the Michael Buffer and Jimmy Lennon. You know, I'm talking and stuff. And I got down. The guy started sparring, and it dawned on me. I said, "Man, I didn't get a referee. You know, you got to have keep control of this. You know,
Right."
So at the time, the trainer, he passed away, named Beto Martinez, and Willie Borchard. You know, I asked him, "Hey, you mind if I get up there and referee?" You know, no, go up there. And I got up there, and like instantly, I fell in love with it. Instantly, I was like, "This is what I want to do." And make a long story short, they took a step further and called the Arizona State Boxing Commission and said, "Give this guy a shot," because at the end of the show, he asked me if I ever done that before. I said, "No." He says, "Well, I think you should look into it. You got good natural movements."
That's a book.
Absolutely.
You know, you might think about writing.
No, absolutely.
When you get ready to write your book, let me know.
I got you. You know what I mean? I got you. But no, you know, like I say, one thing led to another, and you know, looking back at it, being a Muslim, I'm look back at it and I know that he makes everything happen.
Everything.
You know, everything happened. And so I started, actually, okay, they gave me the Arizona State Commission, they gave me a tryout, you know, because the usual procedures, you start out with the amateur ranks and work your way up. But they were going on the word of Beto Martinez, you know, because he was really influential, you know, with the commission. And what they did was they gave me an exhibition, a tryout from a Tough Man contest. Now,
what was the Tough Man contest here?
No, it was in Kingman, Arizona.
Okay.
You know,
right.
And you know, Tough Man contest, you got people off the street, so you know.
One of my guys from Vegas won the one here in Vegas at the Mahoney's.
Yeah. Okay. And you know, but everything went well, and I said, well, come on back, take your physical, and you're in. You know, so you know, I started, you know, refereeing in Phoenix, you know, the small venues and stuff, what have you. So immediately I said, you know, I want to go to Vegas. You know, how can this happen? How can I make this happen? Well, being in the federal system, there's federal institutions throughout the country, and they have to have a prison camp on Nellis Air Force Base. Okay, and now we have to understand, I like 4 years in, so I'm low on the totem pole. You know, a prison camp, you getting the old timers getting ready to come out, you know,
right.
And going in. And the opening came up in recreation. Okay. And I'm not going to tell myself no, I'm going to put in for it. Yeah, I put in for it. And what had happened was my first warden in Phoenix, he was now in charge of the Western region. Okay. He happened to come to to Phoenix. Now, of all the barbershops in Phoenix, he had to go to where I got my hair cut. Hold on. Now, there's like 4 or 5 barbers in there. He happened to go to the one who cuts my hair.
Wow.
They sitting in the chair. Now, the barber don't know who he is. You know, he don't, you know. And,
right.
Now, you walk in barbershops, you have pictures of sports pictures of the Phoenix Suns and all that stuff. And there's a picture of me when I did my first world title fight, and I raised the fighter's hand. You know, and so he's looked up there and he says, "Is that Tony Weeks?" And the barber said, "Oh, yeah." He says, "Matter of fact, I cut his hair." He says, "Oh, really?" And the barber said, "Yeah, he's trying to get to Las Vegas." Yeah, tell me that's not divine intervention.
Hey,
yeah.
In the Laha, Kulishayan, Kadir.
All praises to you. You know what I mean? And boom.
Yeah.
So how everything had to systematically fall in place for me to be where I'm at today.
Man, well, I'm glad to have you as a fighter, a referee,
Thank
and
you.
I know a lot of other people is too.
Thank you.
And I know some parents are glad that you're in the ring with their kids.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
you've done a great job.
Thank you.
And man, it's been great talking to you. And before we leave, is there anything that you want to leave with any of the fighting fans or just the normal people?
Hey, like in anything, don't be too hard on the fighters. Don't be too hard on the officials. Fighters step in that ring, they laying the ultimate on the line. And, never badmouth a fighter, because you think he quit on the stool or he doesn't want to fight anymore. You're not in there taking that punishment. There's nothing better than life. Being able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Being able to get out of that game, because like I say, every punch that a fighter takes, there's some damage,
Yeah, absolutely. And you get a chance to see it later on when you go up and shake their hand when they done fighting and it's over with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Riddick Bowe, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And, just have some compassion for the fighters, have some compassion for the officials because they can't do it without us. You can't have a football game without the officials, a basketball without the officials.
Couldn't work.
Hey, we're trained to do what we do. Like I said before, we're human. Nobody's perfect, but we sign up to do that job and we sign up to do it the best of our ability.
So everybody that's got everything bad to say or anything good to say about Tony Weeks, you heard it from the horse's mouth. This is what it is. And he laid it down for you. And listen, we're going to do a part 2 with Tony Weeks. So y'all watch out for the part 2. We might have his song together. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Click subscribe, hit like. Also share this. And we'll get back to y'all next week. Peace.
Visit umtmshopping.com for great quality and excellent prices on women's clothes, men's clothes, baby clothes, and children's toys, electronics, and much more. Visit us now at umtmshopping.com.
At Uncle Mario Total Media, our list of services is endless. We specialize in creating podcasts, producing and recording music, designing graphics, integrating business into the metaverse, crafting stunning music videos, and delivering top-notch film production. There's nothing we can't handle. Our team of talented professionals is ready to bring your vision to life. Uncle Mario Total Media, where creativity knows no boundaries.
Michael Elliott.
The Mike Elliott Show.
Michael Elliott Show.
The Michael Elliott Show.
The Michael Elliott Show.
Listen to Michael Elliott. It's the Michael Elliott Show.
Thank you for tuning in to the Michael Elliott
Help
Show.
us grow this show. Like, subscribe, and comment.
We back with another show, the Mike Elliott Show. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to click subscribe, like, share, and comment on this. I got my man Henry in the building. Somebody y'all might know. You might have heard about him. But today I got him in the studio, and we're going to talk about all the things that he's done since he's been in Vegas. What's up, Henry?
What's going on, brother,
All right,
man?
all right.
Glad you brought me on, man. I watched the show now. I've become an avid fan, so I'm glad to be a part of it.
Absolutely, man. So you first got in Vegas, when you first came to the city, and you started moving around. Like, what year was it, and kind of what was you doing? Just let the people know kind of what you was doing when you was here and what was taking place.
Man, originally I used to come out in the summers,
Okay.
98, 99, and my dad got me introduced to Richard Steele, so I used to go to the Nevada Partners up off Lake Mead
I'm
back
surprised
in
you
the
didn't
day.
see me in there.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah, I was that
Possibly.
hard-hitting dude in there.
Man, there was a couple of them in
Yeah.
there, so I'm sure you probably
Yeah,
socked me
absolutely.
once or twice, but I had a couple claim to fames in there back in the day.
All
so
right.
back with Paul Spatafora, used to walk in there. I walked through him before, so
Absolutely.
obviously Floyd used to be in the gym. It was, and then I just realized, like, I know why he made it hundreds of millions of dollars boxing, and I didn't. I ain't want to work that hard.
Yeah.
And that was the hardest working dude I ever seen.
Never
in the
seen
gym.
nobody work that hard.
So because of that, you know, I had a couple unfortunate injuries, so then, you know, took me out of that thing, and then I just started grinding in the city. Like 2000 is when I made my actual move here. I just decided that, you know, like us, we weren't really moving in Las Vegas when I first got here. It seemed like we was kind of cultivated to the north and west side, and I ain't know no better. I'm living over, like up off of like Sahara and West Sahara area. I'm over here close on this side of town. I didn't know no better, so for me it was kind of like I felt faster than the traditional Vegas guy versus like, you know, north side and the west side. Right. I used to have to travel over there to get friends.
Absolutely. To go over there and feel that real.
Yeah, and even just people that I want to communicate with, because
that you relate to, you understand.
So I got blessed and got dragged into the car business. And that kind of became my networking community to be able to deal with us. I wanted to sell cars to us. So then I used to network to the west side, to North Town. I played sports, so I was in like the flag leagues, and you know, you win a couple.
Up there on Decatur?
Yeah, you win a couple championships and everybody become your friend, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Anytime you could do something, then you going to benefit people around you.
You was like starring out there.
Man, sometimes, you know what I mean? I got a couple awards that said I was the best guy out there, you know. So
that's always, you know, when you're good at one thing, normally anything that you put your mind and you set it to, you could do it and be good at it.
No, that's a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, winning is a habit more than it is a skill set.
And I hate to lose.
Man, it is. So I tell people all the time, man, I want to win it being you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so whatever we go at, and I just got one of them mentalities. I don't know how to bowl, but I'm going to win it bowling.
Man, listen, all I need to do is just get a couple of rhythms in.
Right.
And then, you know, yeah. So when you was clubbing, like, what kind of clubs was popping off out here?
Oh, man, it was definitely the Hop. I ain't never been to the Hop was just like the thing to do when you first got
Did you ever go to the Hop when they had the, it's like a players ball? They had like, you know, the players from all over the country.
Yeah, every event that the Hop would throw, I was a part of.
I was hosting that event.
What?
Yeah.
Nah, I got real good in with my guy Bobby, and then Wiley, the security.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wiley's still my guy to this day. I insure him at my insurance office, but man, the Hop was the place to be. Like, I enjoyed it a lot. So
what kind of entertainment, like in the Hop, that was taking place at the time? Like, who was performing? Who would come down and
man,
rock the stage?
To be honest, I can't even name them many performers. I feel like I was just there on the locals night or something. I think I might have missed the performance.
It probably really wasn't a lot of performance. It was like a lot of local stuff.
Yeah.
But every now and then they had like E40 and the Click.
See,
you know
West Coast rappers I ain't really connect with. You know what I mean? When it came to like my genre of music.
Yeah.
So if they told me E40 was there, I'd probably stay home anyway, only because I didn't have that West Coast rhythm, you know?
They had D-Shot, you know, a lot of those guys. A couple of the Loonies was there. A couple of the other cats, man, Pooh Man, a few other guys, they would come through there and all that, yeah.
Yeah, nah, I just remember some of the fly ladies that used to be on the dance floor.
Man.
You used to have to wait in line to get to some of them. I remember a girl back in the day, I told her that too. I said, man, you know, one day I waited in line to dance with you. I ended up getting out of line, though. I couldn't wait that long. I got out of line, but
man, the Hop was that was I like that one. Did you ever go to the SRO?
Yeah, I went to the SRO too. Like, you know, it's unfortunate that our spots used to have like, you know, a bad rap sometimes, and you know, being off the strip made things, I guess, easier to invade, so to speak. And then what else was there? There was Monte Carlo.
The Monte Carlo.
That was like the first one that let us in on the strip. And
so when y'all got in there, what y'all did?
Man, we used to be everything in Monte Carlo. I remember just being just a guy in the city. Was kind of cool enough to hang when people came. You know what I mean? Like Big Boy. I remember when Big Boy from Outkast and them came.
Yeah.
He just liked my T-shirt, man. I ain't even gonna lie.
Just kept it real.
It was something about my shirt he liked. He was like, man, come kick it with me, bro. I like this.
Right.
And it worked out. You know what I mean? For a while, I remember I used to do a little couple things with Akinelli Records.
You was promoting
Aquemini Records. I think that was Big Boys, not Akinelli. It was Aquemini.
Okay. You did promotion for him?
Man, I just used to kind of find them artists and do stuff like that. Like he used to have artists he wanted to develop, and I just been blessed. That
So you got an eye for like developing good talent.
I mean, I think my eyes. I got at least a good ear. You know what I mean? I'm a good fan.
Right.
So I think if I vibe with something and people kind of look at it and go, nah, you know what, man, that was a pretty good idea. I'm more of a creator. So if I can be creative with some people, then, you know, that's always been kind of my claim.
So are you managing anybody now? You got any artists right now?
No, I deal with 1200 Money out of Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And then I'm just friendly affiliated with like BG from the High Boys. That's just my guy. I'm not in any management role. I'm just a good friend with a good ear. You know what I mean?
All right.
I never really needed to make money from the music industry. So for my network, it was more or less I understood knowing these people, how they would leverage other things that I might have going on. Like, you know, BG is a great supporter of the restaurant. He's got motivation.
Let's talk about the restaurant. Let's let people know exactly what restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Let people know what restaurant it is.
You know, I mean, we really got the hottest restaurant in the city. I mean, I'm trying to be as humble as possible when I say that, but it's Stuff My Turkey. We right up the road on Sahara.
Man, I heard a lot about it.
Man,
the producers of this show has been there several times.
That's a fact. And it's just, I mean, we've had stars. We've been blessed with people that come in and walk in the door. People like Uncle Luke.
Yeah.
You know, he just come in and have a seat. You know what I mean? On a Wednesday, we won't got to do anything special to bring names into the building. And then my name resonates pretty well, so my phone might ring and it's just time for some people to show up. We've been able to be blessed and deliver food outside of the restaurant to some big names like Chris Brown. And, you know, we've done, when Beyonce's team was here, we've done a couple of the other little segment shows. I mean, we got people like Exhibit, obviously BG. I could say him.
So is Exhibit in Vegas? Like he lives here?
Yeah, he's homed here.
Yeah.
Beautiful family. You know what I mean? Real
That's one of my favorite rappers, man. His voice. I mean, even though he didn't, you know, just take the rap like, you know, Pac or somebody did, but his voice was just so strong and powerful. The way he kicked his rhymes and the lyrics, his delivery, and his lyrical content.
X has definitely had bars. You know what I mean? So, you know, when guys like that show up, I was obviously want to do the best I can to accommodate when they do pay a visit. But I'm blessed to say that they keep returning, right? And now I've built somewhat friendships with these people. I'm not just like, oh, come eat with me, or they vice versa. You know, Super Bowl, things like that. I get the invite. I might not hang out sometimes only because, you know, I don't really like to be nobody's, like, feel like I'm involved because I want to be seen with somebody else type thing. I just want to vibe out with people and then keep it pushing. But no, having people like that in the city now is huge. The city's growing.
It's growing. So from your beginning of 2000 when you moved here to now, what do you see the difference in everything?
Man, the diversity of like the city itself. You know what I mean? It's more of us, even in cities like Henderson. And you didn't, man. You
know, back in the days, Henderson was white.
Man, 1,000%.
You know, people say if you lived in Henderson, it was like you live on the white side of town.
My friends didn't like me for it. You know what I mean? Because I used to work at the car dealership out there in
Once I was able
Honda.
to get my own place, I couldn't wait to move to Henderson.
True.
I'm gonna be the only brother out there.
And you'd have been the second one. I've been there since the whole time almost. I moved down there to work at the Honda dealer down there.
Okay.
Bill Shack, black owner. He schooled me in the game of the car business.
You know who Cliff Finley? Is that his name?
Yeah, that's where I worked at. I worked at Shack Finley Honda at the time. There was Shack, Bill Shack's side,
right?
The brothers.
Yeah.
Then there was Cliff and his side, and he needed the brothers to keep it. My dad used to play
basketball for Cliff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At Finley Prep?
No, way back before.
Okay.
And this is like before we was probably born.
Oh, well, your dad, not like your
dad.
son.
Right.
That.
Yeah.
Nah, but it was good working in the car business, man. I learned a lot. You know what I mean? I put a lot of us in automobiles.
Absolutely.
I took pride in that.
That's
teaching
that's
credit, building those type of things. And I'm blessed now. Damn near every manager in the city probably used to work for me. I was the youngest sales manager in the whole city. I was like 24 years old. I was on the desk.
24.
Man, I tried to add 21 years, and it's all good.
Okay.
But yeah, being in the car business was epic for me. I grew in it really fast, and then that just kind of navigated who I was in the city, man. I was a black dude that had hustle, but I wanted to put us on, whether it be adding somebody, teaching people credit, getting them business loans, getting them approved for different things. I just been blessed to have that kind of solidification in the city. So
you ever attend any of the fights here in Vegas?
Oh man, I attended damn near all.
Which was the best fight you went to, crowd wise? Everything went well that night.
I mean, I guess I got different answers. What you gonna do tonight, Roy? That was one of my favorite because Tarver came and did what he was supposed to do.
Oh man,
that knockout was epic.
That was huge.
I remember I had like 20 tickets to that fight too, and I was like,
man, you should have hit me up. And, man, I would have went. Man, I was on the couch watching it.
Nah, that was probably the biggest, I think, from a standout points, probably either Mayweather De La Hoya or Mayweather Mosley. I enjoy both of them. Any Mayweather fight I've been to, I've been a Mayweather fan since I was a tyke.
I've been to a couple of Mayweather fights. I really like Tyson against Ruddock.
Okay.
The first fight at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, that was before I got here, but that was
a huge. That was, you could hear the boom, boom.
Yeah,
you know what
for
I'm saying?
sure.
Yeah.
Heavyweights died off a little bit when I got to Vegas. That started to be the dwindle of the heavyweight division. Once the Europeans became the heavyweight draw,
it all went down.
Yeah, it changed it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I was a Lennox Lewis fan a little bit.
Me too. I was definitely. I love Lennox. Yeah.
So, but outside of that, we don't have too much of the. And what it is heavyweights started seeing there's more money in being big like that. An athlete, you might as well play football.
Right.
So
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. So
and
we
then
transitioned.
a lot of folks just that was big didn't even want to fight anymore. They was gang banging. That era was getting big. A couple of them cats. You go to the jailhouse and you look in there, you see like 6'7", 6'8", 230, 240, and they locked up.
Yeah, being big and in shape didn't make sense for a boxing career no more. Because if you weren't the heavyweight champion, you was fighting for pennies,
Yeah.
So they knew what they was doing when they put us through the boxing world.
Absolutely. They 20 years ahead.
Nah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
The young boy doing this thing, though, I'm a big Devin Haney fan.
Oh, you're man, I love Devin, man.
Nah, I know BH and them since I basically moved to the city. As soon as they moved into town, I seen Devin at the gym. And again, he's another one of those. I know why he's successful today, because
he work hard.
Man, that kid been in the gym, all gym, homeschooled.
You like seeing him grow, from 16.
Nah, 11.
11.
Yeah. Watching him grow from, just his work ethic, but he always thought he was the champion. You know what I mean? He had that confidence.
He got a hell of a pops. When your pops is down for you, I mean really down for you, it makes you just that much better.
Man, when you got a father as a great supporter, you believe you could do anything because you already believe your father's Superman.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So to have Superman look at you and tell you Superman, that's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I think from away. And he's had a good team, man. There's a silent guy in that camp, Kevin Henley.
Okay.
He's one of the trainers, man. And I love seeing him in Devin's corner. I think that he's always been a good attribute to that team. I know sometimes they be in and out of their mix, and that's just the business of boxing, but nah, he's dope. And then Mayweather's whole crew, I enjoy the Mayweather gym. Otis is a good friend of mine.
Man, Otis is my partner. I've been knowing Otis for years. I actually was boxing at one time.
Okay.
And me and Otis would spar, but Otis was heavier than me. And so I had to spar with guys like Otis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, that's a fact. Like the Mayweather gym has always shown me love, been cool. Some of the affiliates through TMT been good.
Boza Edwards?
Boza Edwards.
He's in Mayweather's gym.
Oh, yeah, I know he's talking about.
Yeah, he used to train me.
Oh, okay.
Actually, Roger was training me, too. That was the last person that trained me was Roger.
Oh, man, rest in peace, Roger,
Rest in peace, man.
He one of those. He the guy. Like
Roger say, it ain't how fast you do it, it's how right you do it.
Man, I like that.
Yeah.
Nah, that's a good one. He, man, he blessed us with talent.
He did, man. You know, they used to call them the Mexican assassins.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I mean, you realize that, you know, they were a brand. You know what I'm saying? It was bigger than just the skill.
And I actually want to get Big Floyd on the show.
Okay.
With Sugar Ray Leonard being my favorite fighter of all time, Floyd actually was faster than Sugar Ray. Mm-hmm. He just didn't have the team Sugar Ray had.
Yeah, no, but Sugar Ray from back home, man, he was the part of that move to get me to Las Vegas. So,
is that right?
Yeah, no, Sugar Ray, good people.
It's my favorite fighter of all time. You know,
same.
But just given Floyd Senior was actually faster. You know, from the fight that they had, he just didn't have a team behind him.
Got it. Well, I can't shoot nothing against my man Sugar Ray. I gotta get him tops off. I tell you this. Senior's son better than Ray's son, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna give him that. I'm gonna give him the better son.
Some of the times you gotta know one thing: when you're raising your kid, and then you're done, your kid is the next thing. So, you know, they take a look at Pippen's son and Jordan's son. You know, they were showing the arrest record, and then Pippen's son in NBA. So yeah.
Nah, man, basketball different.
Basketball, but it's the parenting. You know, if you're there for your kid or if you're not there for him, it's a difference.
Big time.
Yeah, it's a big difference. Yeah.
No, and then what was the next one that let us in on the strip? Then Raw. Then Raw started opening up in like what was that? Probably like 06.
05, 06, yeah.
Yeah. I remember I took one of the only few white boys to the hop though.
Is that right?
It's like, what he doing here? I said, nah, man, he cool. Let him come in. He's a guy from the car business, but nah. I used to love to hop a lot. Used to get rough in there sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some incidents, man, with sparks, and I see, you know, it was always something popping. But mainly, I knew everybody that was
right.
Yeah, I knew the whole movement. You know what I mean? So I didn't have to really worry about nothing. But the other people that was there, shaking and baking, they had to move.
Man, I used to step in there dolo too. That was what was crazy. That really wasn't one of them spots you could go and not know nobody, but I knew the right people. You know what I mean?
And that means a lot. Yeah.
So it was blessed, but
that's so crazy. We've been around the same places but never met. But I was always, you know, in the cut. You know what I mean? I wasn't really out like that. Yeah.
And I had only one mission. You know, I didn't want to meet nobody with the same testosterone as me. I was looking for the ladies at that time. So if you didn't have two with you where I could talk to one of them,
right,
we probably wouldn't speak it.
Man, my whole thing at the time was networking, building, connecting, bringing, pushing, sliding.
For sure. And it's just the city's been good with a lot of people to tap in with. I've been blessed to say that my name rings good in the city. Even to this day, like I got people that work in my restaurant and they like, man, I go back home around the boys and they like, yo, you good peoples, man, this and this and this.
So what's the worst thing that happened since you stepped into Vegas? Like what's something that you glad it's over with and it's gone?
I think from a perspective of, man, I don't really know, man. I mean, they still gangbang in the city always, but I'm glad that the crews I grew up with kind of grew out of that type of segment. But what I'm really happy is gone. Man, most of the time I want stuff to come back. I don't have too many guns. I think that once the strip realized how popular experience in our entertainment became, it kind of changed the fun to it all.
Because we used to couldn't come out there.
Man,
not like before, like early, before I was even out there, I wrote a book talking about this. You know, we couldn't be out there.
Nah, not
My
at
dad
all.
was just telling me 2 days ago that black people couldn't drive down the strip at a certain time. You're going to get pulled over, you're going to get harassed, and tell you, hey, boy, you don't need to be out here on the strip.
Right. That's what the whole West Side was about. They moved us there and told us, here you go, and here go to Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
And you stay over here and don't come
Moulin Rouge
across
was cracking.
Nah, yeah, it was
the
us.
Moulin Rouge was us.
It was for us.
Whenever it's us, man, we have a great time. Sometimes it just may be a handful of people, but that handful, you're able to have a great time. Look, we're going to come back after this. We'll take a commercial break. We're coming back.
At Uncle Mario Total Media, our list of services is endless. We specialize in creating podcasts, producing and recording music, designing graphics, integrating business into the metaverse, crafting stunning music videos, and delivering top-notch film production. There's nothing we can't handle. Our team of talented professionals is ready to bring your vision to life. Uncle Mario Total Media, where creativity knows no boundaries.
Make sure you tune in to UMTV every Thursday. Also, check out some of the other shows on there. Click subscribe, like, and share. Don't forget to comment. Let us know how we're doing. And if you want to be a part of the show, put your information in the link, and the producer will get back with you. All right. Yo, we back here, the Mike Elliott Show. We here with my man Henry Crockett, and he's just letting y'all know all about what the experience was like being here in the V. That's the Vague. Check it out. So what's next, like, for, you know, all the stuff that you're doing now with the turkey leg hut? That's what it's called.
Stuff My Turkey.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Turkey leg hut is and they're not even a competitor. They're just in a different city,
same
different
thing. They're
product.
two different cities.
Yeah.
Stuff My Turkey.
Uh-huh.
That's a pretty cool name.
Nah, man, it was the
Who came
name.
up with that?
I did, and not in a boasting way. It was kind of like we were thinking of something that was not only going to be catchy, but like with what has a little edge to it.
Yeah.
We used to have a taco spot called Eat My Taco.
Okay.
So it just made sense to kind of stay in a lane. It was, you know, a little bit.
How
of
many
the
states
edge.
are you in?
Right now we're just in Las Vegas,
Okay.
but we're breaking ground in both Memphis and Houston as we speak. And we'll be in D.C. by the beginning of 25.
So where's Stuff My Turkey at?
Sahara and Decatur, right there on the corner by the El Pollo Loco and the Jack in the Box.
All right.
It's a good vibe. Like I said, you never know who's going to be in the building. Anybody that follows the Instagram will see, you know, we got names that show up all the time. Keith Lee thought we were the best restaurant in the city. He gave us good rankings, highly reviewed. We still got the highest score ever, even though we didn't win the contest. We came in second, but score-wise, we had the top score. But I'm not tripping. Keith's a good dude, man. The fact that he's shown up more than once, he shows up even now as just a customer. He don't have to tell people about it. He really genuinely liked the food.
So running your business, have you hired any family members, any friends, or anything like that for the business?
Well, my partner is my cousin Joe.
Okay.
And we didn't find out we was cousins till after being partners, which is kind of crazy.
Okay.
He decided to do one of them Ancestry and Me's, and my name came across his board, but God just kind of worked that way, right? He put the right people around you, and then you find reasons why you meant to be there. So outside of that, we don't do too much, like, necessarily family collections. You know, everybody in my family from Washington, D.C., and everybody from his family in Memphis. So we all we got here in the city. And obviously his wife is a huge staple inside of the restaurant as well. She's the third piece to the tripod.
Okay.
And obviously she know how to cook, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I just know how to talk to people. Joe knows how to run restaurants. So collectively, the three of us, we just kind of made it this working vibe, you know.
Man,
she makes it taste good. He makes it look good. And then, you know, I make it feel good.
Yeah. You make it feel good. So the spots that y'all in Memphis and Houston, is it going to be set up the same way it is here?
For the most part, I think each spot's going to have its own evolution because of the cities and what they provide. Houston's real big on, like, the vibe and the show up and, you know, a day parties and things like that. We don't have that here in Vegas at our one here. And then in Memphis, we're going straight on the gusto. We trying to pull up on Bill Street. So, you know, that outside vibe is real big out there where, I mean, we do have a patio life here, but we don't have what we'll have there when we implement, like, the uses of jazz and, you know, just the history of Memphis itself, man.
So where you came from and then coming to Vegas, weather, what's the difference in the weather?
Man, I ain't had a coat since, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what a down coat look like no more.
Right.
That's one thing for sure. Las Vegas has brought me, from a health standpoint, you know, you could work out all the time. You know, sports was twice a year. You know, you could play football here in the wintertime with ease. But I I've just enjoyed the desert for the most part, you know. From a male perspective too, you know, women obviously will wear less, you know, where I'm from.
Man.
You in a down coat, they in a down coat with you, you know what I mean? You can't appreciate nothing with that. So out here, you know, it's summer dresses, sundresses, whatever they call, it's starting as early as March, and they don't come off until October. So
teasing for like over there where it's cold at. You know, cats walk a certain way because they always have to have Timberlands and 2-3 pair of pants on, so they was walking like
sure. I had my Timbs. I still got them. I don't find a reason to wear them as much.
Ain't no reason unless you go into a construction site.
Yeah,
and we don't wear Timbs to construction sites.
Nah, we don't. I don't have no reason to wear them out here, but I still got to buy a pair. It's just like a part of my collection. I got to have me some gum soles. So I love my Timbs. In fact, I'm going home tomorrow, but I ain't taking the Timbs with me.
If they could bring 2 clubs back. Now, we didn't talk about Uptown, but I know you was familiar with Uptown.
Uptown, nope. Never
so
been
Uptown was across the street from Circus Circus. Like Mike Tyson would be in that joint. Like
Utopia?
Not Utopia. It was like
I'm saying that area?
Oh, yeah. No, it was like that street that's like if you're going down Las Vegas Boulevard and you turn right to go to Circus Circus and go down to the back, it was right on that street right there.
Oh, okay.
It's like directly, you could throw a rock and hit Circus Circus.
Oh, no, I missed that one.
Oh, man. But what club would you bring back?
Whatever. Yeah, the Hop was definitely one I'd bring back. And whatever that was in Monte Carlo, man.
The Monte Carlo, yeah, that stayed lit.
Yeah, that was a good vibe.
So you wasn't going to, it's Dre's now, but it was the after hour spot.
Yeah, no, I showed up a couple times in there, but I didn't really, like, 4 a.m. wasn't my move. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you stay until 11 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, you get there at 4 a.m., stay until 11 a.m. Yeah, that spot right there.
I felt like the dudes that wanted to be out that late, man, didn't have no game. They was trying to do drugs. And
no, that was
me.
That was the player spot. You know, the pimps, the hustlers. You know, all of the hoes. I mean, that was a spot for all of that.
Man, I must have not have wanted them then or something like.
It was you know, people that's gonna be up all night hustling.
Right. Yeah. For sure. Nah, and I never got to Vegas and hit that curb. Yeah. So you know what I mean. When I got here, it was kind of like I went straight into work mode, and it was a cool hustle in the car business. You know what I mean. I was a 6-figure guy at 21. I ain't have no other admirations at that point. You know what I mean?
All you want to do is keep clocking.
That's it. And,
so what's that on your shirt? What brand is that?
Man, this is Plug. It's me. I'm the person lending you game. I've basically kind of created my own brand and started it out where it's basically not only music but, you know, production from like video stuff, as well as, you know, just a community outreach. You know, I teach people anything about business. I'm a mindset coach, so I teach people how to think business, how to move in business. And, man, there's no success without a successor, man. So I just teach these young fellas how to get it.
So now you also, you do movies, too.
Yeah.
And so just tell us a little bit about, you know, how you...
For the most part, I'm just a script writer.
Okay.
So, you know, I've helped write scripts for different various movies. I haven't gotten that movie yet that I actually can get taken credit for.
Right.
Because the first Get in the Game, what I did was I kind of sold as a ghostwriter.
Okay.
Only because, you know, me trying to do it myself, people wasn't really knowing who I was. However, I ran into some people that really appreciate some of the stories that I had. I'm like, hey, man, write me a check now. You can have it. I could do this every day.
Right.
Now I'm starting to get some wave where now I've been able to kind of collaborate with a couple production companies that now actually want to take some of my scripts and put them on film, and letting me lead the way. So that's a blessing.
I like that.
You know, I got 25 movies in my phone, and I feel like, you know, I'm just kind of gifted that I can make a new one tomorrow. You know, it's kind of...
That's kind of how I feel. I feel like, you know, if you're gifted at something and somebody say, well, you know, why hold on to it? You could sell it to them, you do another one because you're that talented.
Yeah, I learned that from Future. I was in the building when they made Drunken Love.
Okay.
So that's
Beyonce, right?
He wrote it. That's his song.
Yeah.
He was the originator of that, and Beyonce's crew kind of got a hand on it. I don't remember who. You know, I'm thinking I'm going to get me some dollars for the first time ever with music. And I remember when it was the conversations to bring it up, and he made the comment, man, I'm not battling with them over no music. I make hits every day. I'll just make another one.
Right.
And to me, I'm like, well, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what this is about to lead to. So, but now I understand what he meant.
Right.
And I'm in a lane now where I truly feel like that about my craft. Like, you know, I'm not really worried about what I've put out already. Somebody else got to put their name on to take credit for. I can make a new one every day. And so far, I've been blessed to do that. I'm excited. 2025, we'll have 3 movies out. And I'm not trying to be on no disrespect, but you know, we kind of give Tubi this stigma, right? What I mean by that, from the perception of quality, I'm not trying to make it that type of movie, but Tubi's a great platform to put anything on. If they take you, they write big checks like everybody else. So I'm just excited, you know, to deal with Amazon, Peacock, things like that. So I'm just looking to move forward in that direction. So that's a blessing.
So, Plug,
Mm-hmm.
man, I mean, that's huge because it's got so many elements.
Yeah, no.
That's locked in with it.
Yeah, when I think of Plug, what started it, my boy Chris painted me, did me a picture. And on that picture, it was Alejandro Sosa walking down the path when he talking to Tony Montana, kind of putting him on what this supposed to be like right before he killed my man's off the helicopter. But he was really the guy who put that information in Tony Montana's head on what it meant to be a true hustler and how to get this money. And he was that person lending game. And upon that painting, that kind of created
That's
the
my
stigma
favorite
of
character
Plug
in the
Brad.
movie.
Well,
See, I didn't like
Sosa.
Tony.
Sosa
My guy
was that
Sosa.
guy.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
And he told
everybody
him
liked Tony. They got the pictures of Tony in the house. They put it in a rap. I'm like Tony, you know, all that type of stuff. But Sosa was my guy.
I got a song out my own self I wrote about the Plug, and I said, man, you might be Tony Montana, but I'm Alejandro Sosa. You know what I'm saying? We might be both getting money, but I never touched the coca. Like, I just felt like he was really, like you say, he was the star of the movie. He was the guy he was hustling way before Tony made any moves, and Tony had to hustle for a different reason.
Yeah.
And Alejandro was like, man, I do good business and serious business, and if you don't move this way, man,
he had everything on lock.
You could be hanging up there with the rest of them.
He had a room full of everybody in there.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
1,000%.
Talking about what we need to do.
Yeah, he knew how to bring people together.
Yeah.
And if you didn't move with him, you either stayed down or got down.
That's right.
So, I respect him big time. But that's what created Plug, and then I just took it like that was my dynamic. I feel like I'm that guy, like from a sense of whatever we trying to do in music, movies, business, sports. You know, I coach football.
You got championships?
Man, I got 11 of them in the city. So I got 11 state championships in the youth thing, and I got 4 undefeated high school seasons.
So I'm a Virgo like Lennox Lewis. You know what I mean? So we won a championship one year. I'm done with it. I just wanted to show them that I could do it.
Where you was at?
Over there on Buffalo at NYFL.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I had a team called the Falcons, and it was 2004. But I had
Daniel was out there?
Who?
Daniel.
Like I said, I'd be there, but I don't really know people by
Understood.
name. Yeah.
No.
But we won the championship. You know, at the end, towards the end of the game, in the middle of the game, niggas rolling the trophy to the other side because this little kid named Keola Antonia wound up going to Arizona. He was a real tough kid, right? Samoan dude running through everybody. So they was willing the trophy over there like they was going to win the trophy. We was like, bring it back.
That's. And then I had some years with TMT. I coached their league for their team for a while. That camp. Big shout outs to Mac. Mac looked out for me. One year we swept all the championships from every age group.
That one squad. I kind of heard about that when that was taking place.
Yeah, we were the first ranked team in the city.
Was that maybe like 07, 07, 08, something like that?
It was probably a little later than that. Might have been 10.
10 maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we were the first ranked team in the city. We got we were ranked.
Did y'all play Snoop them team?
Oh, we drugged them.
Is that right?
Man, we drug everybody that year. We were ranked number 8 in the country. Okay. That's when rankings just started coming out. But
for the little league.
Yeah, we had a really good team though, man.
And they got some kids. I remember Brandon Jennings.
Yep.
They was talking about him going to the pros when he was in the 7th grade.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah.
Nah, football and basketball, like, man, we got athletes out here.
Yeah, we got athletes.
You know, they don't give us the credit sometimes.
No, they don't, man. I see a lot of kids from Vegas, like the kid that played for Oakland. He from Vegas. Kid played for Gonzaga from Vegas. It's quite a few of them out there, and they playing well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they are. Football too.
We got Eugene Brooks. He just committed to Oklahoma. If you go to like Oklahoma right now, and
Eugene, my guy.
Yeah,
he went to DP.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to the Oklahoma thing, you'll see them talking about him, about this true freshman, and
Yeah, BJ liked that.
BJ.
Nah, he left the city for a while. He went over to Sierra Canyon.
Yeah, right. I went to a couple of games over there.
Nah, BJ the truth, man.
BJ the truth.
He's the #1 shot putter in the world in like the 7th grade.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Nah, I know him. I know his brother, Malik.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Malik didn't make it, but
he the best athlete I ever seen, actually.
Malik, man, I went to Malik basketball game when he. I went to Malik basketball game when he was in maybe the 9th or 10th grade. He was on freshman or JV, and he just was so much more powerful than all them kids.
Yeah.
And then when I seen him play at DP, when he caught the pass with the 2 fingers, you know what I mean? The guy on the news said, Odell Beckham, who?
Yeah, nah, I coached him those years. So.
Okay, right on.
Nah, Malik's my guy, man.
Yeah.
I got big love for him. And then, we caught BJ at the tail end, and he went to Sierra Canyon.
Yeah.
But his family, the Brooks family, they all dope.
Yeah.
And then we got big names. I mean, Darnell Washington.
Yeah.
That was huge for me to be able to coach him throughout. So.
He a beast. Did you run across his last name Walker? He was at Oklahoma last year. He transferred to, I think, to West Virginia right now.
No, Walker.
Taiwan Walker. Taiwan Walker. Okay.
No,
he played for the Green Machine.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about, but nah, I didn't coach him at all.
Man, coaching is fun.
Nah, big facts. And just getting these kids ready for, the next level.
Yeah.
I mean, being at DP, we was blessed because we used to lead the city and people getting them to the next level for D1 athletes. We'd lose to Gorman by 40, but we were still going to get more kids into the next level.
Every time.
But that's changing over there at Gorman now because, their whole line is a D1 athlete. And now if you got linemen that are athletes, all you need is 2 or 3 position player athletes, and it's a wrap. So,
in 2005, I believe, 2001, Gorman didn't have no AAU program.
Right.
I'm the one brought that to Gorman.
Oh, damn, that's dope.
Yeah. So my son was already playing AAU ball, so they had a coach that had my son come there. But the coach who took over was Grant Rice. He didn't know anything.
When Gorman was down in Las Vegas.
Yeah, on Maryland. So I schooled him on everything, on what to do, and I actually was coaching, the team because I'm staying connected to my son. So yeah, I turned him on to that AAU.
Nah, that's lit. Nah, but the Vegas needed it though.
It did, yeah.
And like now in that ranking stuff, being the first team ranked in the city, we kind of brought that to Las Vegas, where now Vegas became one that was on the map every year for a team. They come looking to see, all right, do Vegas got a team that's doing anything?
They'll see individual people, but they wasn't seeing the whole team.
No,
like
not
saying,
at all.
Yeah.
And then our youth circuit now, and Vegas almost run the youth circuit. That Las Vegas Strong team is always highly ranked.
Even the kid played for Houston, Jalen.
Jalen Green.
He was playing for the Vegas Elite.
Okay. Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, he was.
And he dogged everybody in the ABCD camp, all of those camps, all those tournaments and all that, the big time, the main event. He just went off on them.
Shabazz was like the biggest name coming out at the time for basketball.
Man, Shabazz is a beast, a man-child, and I would like to see him play a little longer, but that dude, man, everybody knew it was going to happen for him.
Right.
When he was in the 7th grade, everybody knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, nah, that was those was the years. I mean, even like Marcus Banks, you know.
Yeah, Marcus Banks.
He's still out here. He just hit me up the other day. I gotta catch up with my
Marcus
guy,
is
man.
my cousin some kind of way.
That's lit.
We can. But yeah, man, Marcus, I remember when Marcus played for the Celtics,
Mm-hmm.
they had this poster that go all the way across the wall, and it was him on it. And it was at the Summer League game, and I wound up getting it, you know what I mean? So I thought that was real cool.
No, that's dope, man. Yeah, no, I still see him in the city.
Okay.
Like I say, just hit
He
me
come
up.
to your spot?
He ain't even been there yet, but he hit me. That's why he hit me up the other day.
Marcus, show up.
That's a fact.
Stuff my turkey, man. You better be there, man. Be there. Bring your whole family.
I think I just need to reply to him at this point. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? He
yeah.
was ready to come. So, but he's always shown me love, man. He been good peoples when I got in the city. All kind of ran in them circles, right? Like
Right.
I was just from the city and a cool kid, so people respected it, and I was hard not to like because I didn't want to do nothing else but meet some girls. So
You had the East Coast
flavor,
but you blended well with the West Coast.
I understood. I blend well
Yeah.
with real people. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So, and like I said before, I wasn't motivated by anything, but I just wanted to meet the ladies. Like,
That's-
you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand this other stuff. Gang banging, I didn't understand.
Right.
I didn't understand like neighborhood crews and beefs. I just was like, man, why y'all ain't talking to no girls, bro? This don't make no sense to me. So when I added that piece to the repertoire, I was kind of like, yeah, come over here with them. Yeah, come in. So, that kind of opened the lane. And then after that, man, people just seen how genuine I was. So it just clicked in. So I like it, man. Vegas has been good to me. I'm going to always stay here. Production is now coming here big. They're going to do a production studio. We about to get baseball. So
let the people know anything that you want them to know.
Look at the camera 3, just give me, information about, addresses, phone number.
Okay, bet.
Come to stuff, turkey, all that.
Understood. Man, you can find me on just about any platform there is. You can look up Stuff My Turkey. That's the restaurant. We on Sahara in Decatur. That's 4760 West Sahara. You can look up any of my social media handles by Businessman Swag, spelled like businessman, ass swag. That's basically what I feel like I've been and who I am. I'm a businessman that do it the cool way. And anybody want to reach out, man, anything you want to tap in about, if you interested in learning about business, you interested in learning about building something for yourself, tap into the Plug brand, man. We here for everybody.
Right on. Hey, listen, man, thanks for coming to the show.
I appreciate
We're going
it.
to do this again.
Man, we're going to sit down and chop up just to sit down and chop up.
Man, right on. We had a great show today with my man Henry Crockett. Stuff My Turkey. Make sure y'all stop in. Also, the movies that he got that's coming out, make sure y'all check the movies out. I mean, it's my guy right now, man, and make sure y'all support that. And when y'all go to Stuff My Turkey, y'all let them know y'all seen it on this show, and that's how y'all got there.
Man, there it is. I got Kool-Aid waiting for you.
Is it got a lot of sugar in it?
Man, I got enough.
We need to be running around, man. We need some energy.
It's going to be amped when you
Right
come
on.
in the building. So, yeah,
Thanks for
I
coming,
got you.
man.
Man, I appreciate you,
Yeah.
bro. Big things in the city, man.
Thanks for tuning in, man. We doing it big here in the V. The Vegas in the building. All right, peace.
UMTV.
Uncle Mario, Total Media.